There he is. It's not a bad one either. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad fish. Have a bunch of kids go have fun and catch fish, but if you want to be like that, then that's fine.
Oh shit.
Left one. I literally just casted there.
I know. He didn't want the spook. I got him.
It's a good one.
Yeah, not bad at all. Future
There you go. Yeah, man.
I got him sideways too.
Come dang it. Close
My
up.
finger on camera.
That is a good fish. It's probably more about the pressure than
Oh yeah.
than anything.
Oh, that's like.
There you go.
He's either really big or he's got me in something. He's just really big.
Oh, here we go. This is a toad. This is a toad.
God.
That was a good fish. Here we go. Oh. Oh my God. This thing's huge. This thing is an absolute mammoth of a fish. Oh my God. No.
Stout one.
There we go. And that's why you fish deep.
That's right.
All right, we'll get
that's
some
probably
pics for that. Yeah, that's a freaking toad.
I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah. Nice.
Show up at the lake and they already got all their fish found for them. That's a big one.
There you go.
He's growing.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That? Probably the second best one though. Right? 4 pounds.
That. Fall fishing at its finest.
Get a picture of me. I'm throwing back.
No, you're good.
Not as big as the other one, that's for sure.
Nice.
Michaela Anderson.
Whatever.
Got a sponsorship with Kruger Farms. She got our boat raft and truck raft.
Wow.
Yeah, she.
They don't catch anything. I do have a fish. Yep.
Nice. That was a good one.
Oh, get in the boat.
Better anyway.
Yeah. Not a bad fish. We're pretty close. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Fishing with Flair. Just got off the water with my buddy Ben, and he's going to go over the couple lures we used today, as well as his approach to fishing smaller lakes without shad, and it's going to give you guys a few more tips than what I've given you. He knows a lot more than I do about fall bass fishing, especially around the Midwest, and so he's going to give you a few tips, so listen up.
So my approach to fall fishing around here is a little bit different than maybe all these articles you see online that are going to talk about how the fishing gets so much better because the bass are feeding up for winter. They're trying to load their bellies. That is a little bit the case. I feel like the bite improves in lakes where there's a big shad movement. Now, lakes around here that we're fishing, usually less than 1,000 acres, bluegill, crawfish are the main forage, and I just do not believe that there's a big shallow movement of any type. I know a lot of guys also say that they have all these fish moving up shallow to feed up for the winter. I don't believe that either. What I feel like is bass's metabolism are slowing down throughout the season, and what's going on with that is they're eating less and less. I don't think there's any point where a bass decides that it's going to get fatter for winter or anything like that. I think that's a giant misconception. I think that the bass, the only reason people are catching more is because they're catching smaller fish that have moved up shallow chasing shad. I don't think they're necessarily catching all these bigger fish. Now, I know that when I started tournament fishing and targeting bass specifically, I thought that the summer it was good in the summer, and then it would get tough later on the end of the year, and then all of a sudden in the fall it'd just be like boom, like a light switch, and they turn on, you go catch a bunch of big ones. It's extremely tough. That's not how it's been for me. Now, lakes around here where there's no shad movement at all, basically you have to fish the conditions. And what I've found is if you fish the conditions and you hit all the good spots you found in the spring or summer, whether it be in a foot of water, 20 feet of water, anywhere in between, fish the conditions and you'll get bites. But not necessarily going to catch more fish just because the water's cooling down. I feel like a bass's metabolism slowing down so much throughout the fall as the daylight gets shorter and shorter. They're not necessarily feeding more at all. They're feeding less and less and less. So what we did on the water today to take advantage of that and fish the conditions, we tried to fish good stretches of bank, isolated cover, isolated rock piles, brush piles, areas where a big fish could hunker down or even a lot of fish could move up. The way we targeted those today, we got in the water really early in the morning, figured out it was going to be low light, there was going to be clouds, and also figured out this lake has a ton of vegetation in the summer and it had all become submergent. So it was all 1.5 to 2 feet below the surface of the water. And also noticed upon getting there, water was 3 to 4 foot visibility. And a situation like that, if there's going to be any fish up shallow, that's an awesome time with the cleaner water. There's no grass on top to take advantage of a top water walking bait. Bait we used today, was the 6 Sense Dogma. Awesome new bait, real loud knocking sound, and then a little clicking rattle sound too. But nice big bait, it can call them in from a distance. And working them down the bank, or even way out when any grass flats went out of the lake, probably caught 15 to 20 fish on it today. And that was just the perfect thing to do because those fish could get sit down in the submerging grass and come up and ambush whatever was coming by. Then it got a little bit brighter outside. We decided to hit a couple of those isolated rock piles, brush piles, stuff like that out in the lake, and I think we got a bite every stop we had out there. Ended up catching the biggest fish of the day, about a 6.5 pounder out there. Also a couple other good fish out deep, and it was all on a darker colored creature bait. Pretty standard. I think they would have probably eaten a jig, anything big out there too. We didn't have a lot of time. Crankbait would have been a possibility as well. Something I like to throw when the water's that clean, or even a hollow belly swim bait. Moral of the story is, for the fall bite, like I said, when it gets tougher and tougher, we were blessed to have the low light and the clean water. That made all the difference in the world today. Those fish get out on isolated channel swings, isolated rock piles, brush piles, anything like that. So again, with the fall fishing in these lakes that aren't predominantly shad based, where there's going to be a big movement of fish shallow, something to really think about in the low light conditions, cleaner water, is try top water. Do everything you can to try to get that top water bite established. But if they're just nipping at it or you're not getting bites, move off to any isolated cover you can find nearby, and you'll get bites if you fish enough.